to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my skull.
Was your 2024 casino card a Beetlejuice sequel? Was it really expected to appear suddenly, some 36 years later? Although the 1988 film only brought in $74 million, it launched Tim Burton's career as a visionary director and paved the way for his collaboration with Michael Keaton on two enormously popular Batman films. There's some good news for fans of the first Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. From a stylistic and narrative standpoint, Beetlejuice is essentially a continuation of the first movie. Burton's 1988 vision is still completely present. In fact, he has improved upon world building. A unified vision is painstakingly and deliberately kept in the storytelling, making it the greatest possible result from the studio's blatant cash grab. What is Beetlejuice Beetlejuice actually encompass? The Maitlands from the original, well, they've moved on. Still living, nevertheless, are the Dietzes, who purchased the haunted mansion decades ago. Lydia, who we last met as a sulky goth adolescent, has used her gift as a medium to land a hosting job on a program that resembles the Dead Files on Travel Channel. The story begins with produced by her lover Rory, Justin Theroux. Lydia Dietz, Winona Ryder, runs a paranormal talk show called Ghost House 36 years after the events of the previous movie. Lydia experiences glimpses of Michael Keaton's character Beetlejuice, the ghost of the crowd, while a segment is being taped. Lydia's stepmother Delia, Catherine O'Hara, informs her of her father Charles's passing shortly afterward. The remaining Dietz family members pick up Lydia's estranged daughter Astrid, Jenna Ortega, from boarding school on their way to Winter River for the funeral rituals. 2 years before to his disappearance in South America, it is revealed that Astrid's father, Richard, Santiago Cabrera, and Lydia's ex-husband had a relationship that terminated in divorce. After the funeral, Lydia accepts Rory's proposal, which prompts Astrid to run away and meet Jeremy, who extends an invitation for her to stay before the wedding. Astrid discovers on Halloween that Jeremy is a ghost who needs her assistance to come back to life. If Astrid helps him, he assures her that she will be able to see her father again. After Astrid recites an invocation from the handbook for the recently deceased, the two pass into the afterlife. After learning about Jeremy's history as a killer, Lydia begrudgingly asks Beetlejuice to assist in getting Astrid back. Beetlejuice consents, but only if Lydia marries him. Only then will he be able to avoid his murderous and spiteful ex-wife Dolores in the hereafter. In an effort to prevent Astrid from boarding the soul train, which carries souls into the hereafter, Beetlejuice and Lydia are taken into the afterlife train station with Lydia's cooperation. Astrid was duped into taking Jeremy's place in order for him to live again by repeating the incantation. Astrid discovers Richard, a station employee, while being led to the platform. Richard saves Lydia and Astrid and assists them in getting back to Winter River. After sending Jeremy to hell, Beetlejuice asks Delia for assistance in getting back to Earth after a snake bite banished her to the afterlife. Rory is waiting at the altar as Lydia and Astrid arrive at a nearby church. With Delia's help, Beetlejuice sabotages the nuptials, giving Rory a truth serum injection that exposes his desire to wed Lydia for her money. Rory is knocked unconscious by an angry Lydia punching him. An irate Dolores shows up to confront Beetlejuice as he is getting ready to wed Lydia. Astrid releases a sandworm inside the chapel, using the manual as a guide. Beetlejuice deflects it, allowing the worm to devour Dolores and Rory whole. The event is averted when Lydia and Astrid disclose that Beetlejuice breached both his contract and the rulebook, which led to his ballooning and blowing up. Later, as Delia passes into the afterlife and meets Charles again before boarding the soul train for heaven, Lydia and Astrid reaffirm her of their love for her. After a while, Lydia decides to spend more time with Astrid and tapes the last part of her final episode of Ghost House. When the two visit Dracula's castle, Astrid falls in love with Vlad, one of the staff members. Lydia watches from the sidelines as Astrid and Vlad eventually tie the knot. Even still, Lydia keeps having bad dreams about Beetlejuice, one of which involves Astrid giving birth to Beetlejuice's child. Startled and traumatized, Lydia awakens in a state of shock. With Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, things have changed. Yet they have also remained the same. Now, Lydia has her own spoiled teenager, Astrid, who is not at all interested in the paranormal despite having a temperament similar to her mother's. Because her mother didn't keep in touch with her late spouse Richard, the child is wary of her mother's fame and doubts her skills. Astrid's path so resembles Lydia's in the original, and Ortega's casting seems appropriate. Just like Christina Ricci and Ryder did before her, she is a wonderful match in Burton's world. The franchise hasn't been overlooked. In the same way that Lydia's transition into a professional medium seems just fitting, Delia, Lydia's stepmother, went from being a sculptor to a multimedia artist. The returning characters have been brought up to speed in a realistic manner by screenwriters Miles Miller and Alfred Goff. You can tell that the authors of the original work have a great deal of respect for Harry Belafonte and his followers when they hear a choir perform Banana Boat, Day-O, at a funeral. Having said that, a few of the other subplots seem pointless. Although Dolores, Beetlejuice's ex-wife, foreshadows her epic villainy by stapling her numerous severed body parts together, she scarcely appears for the majority of the movie. The plot doesn't really get going until much later on, when Astrid starts to get attached to Jeremy, a neighborhood lad. When all the loose ends are finally tied off in the climax, it becomes clear which of the subplots isn't as compelling. Beetlejuice Beetlejuice adheres to Burton's original concept, though there were some special effects in the first Beetlejuice. These were produced without the use of computer-generated imagery, CGI, which wasn't commonly used in movies until 1991's Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Savvy viewers might notice the blue screen and stop-motion animation. Burton has truly reached into his old toolkit for the follow-up. Here, CGI is used sparingly, and the picture sticks rather close to the look of the original. The aesthetics have undoubtedly improved since the MTV days of the 1980s, but they managed to stay consistent. It would be flawless to see both movies back-to-back. Burton has, if anything, opted for even more throwback. The filmmaker has chosen a black-and-white giallo style, replete with Italian voiceover narration, for a flashback of Dolores and Beetlejuice's past. One aspect that is conspicuously reduced is Beetlejuice's unsuitable conduct. In fact, some of the things he said back in 1988 are now seen as sexual harassment. That's undoubtedly a positive development, but maybe an astute admission of guilt would have been preferable than erasure. A nostalgic delight, Beetlejuice. It is meant for 80s kids to consume Beetlejuice. After finding it difficult to connect with certain ambitious films without Johnny Depp, it's incredibly exhilarating to watch Burton return to form, creating something grotesque and humorous. He seems to be enjoying himself and is full of energy, which is something we haven't seen in a long time. That's the end. Unlock the secrets of storytelling through our video, our YouTube channel's guide to the art of cinema. Join us as we delve into the narratives, the characters, and the sheer enchantment that movies bring to our lives. From script to screen, we've got it all covered. Join us as we analyze, critique, and appreciate the magic of movies. Subscribe to our channel for more videos.